Welcome to FutureFast, and hope you're all enjoying the conversations that we have been bringing to you. And today we have Aruna Diwakar. Aruna Diwakar is doing some wonderful work with children and helping with their education and future. And the numbers are something like staggeringly staring at 40,000. So, what she's doing and why she got onto doing it is what we're going to have and learn in the course of our conversation. And just very quickly, for those of you who have come in for the first time to this podcast, Future Path is an effort to bring people who are contributing to the future in things that they do. And typically, we have this conversation with entrepreneurs and influencers. And today, we have a guest who is not an entrepreneur from a sense of creating uh, wealth to the society, but an entrepreneur who's a social entrepreneur who's creating the strengthening the future, if we can say that. So this is going to be a very different conversation, and I hope you will enjoy it as much as I'm looking forward to this conversation. Welcome, Aruna, for our conversation, and thank you so much for making time to be part of this. So, can you uh, share your journey to starting uh, 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 gratitude? Is what it means, right? Your
Yes,
uh, NGO, which is otherwise Kritagyata, right? It's
Kritagyata.
called Kritagyata. So, which means gratitude. So, can you please share your journey to until Kritagyata to start? What got you to get started with Kritagyata?
All right. First and foremost, thank you, Nanjinda, for inviting me to talk to people about the journey, what I have been like part of in transforming or making a change in few children at least, whatever we have been doing it. So, as the name itself tells, Kritagyata is gratitude. It could be the gratitude towards anything and everything what we have got in life. The parents, the God who has brought us in this earth, the society, friends, relatives, whatever, whatever from wherever we have got a little bit of support to go ahead in life. This is a gratitude towards those accomplishments what we have gotten. Yeah. And about me, yes, I'm Aruna Diwakar.
Yeah, please go ahead, Devin. What
So,
got you to this journey has to start with you.
yes, I feel every person on this earth has a reason. So, when I have actually got to know what the reason I'm on this earth, I took a very gutsy step to quit my corporate job and I took a different path, walking towards making some sort of difference in the lives of people who can't afford the same. So it is a small thought of giving back to the society, my gratitude towards the society.
Oh, well, as much as it sounds nice of you to have done that, was there any particular trigger that led you to this point, saying this is what you should be doing?
There are certain personal reasons where I took a U-turn in life, which made me think, okay, I'm not for a job from 9 to 5, and I'm not in this rat race. So, yes, life has never been very, very kind to me. It's always ups and downs and a lot of challenges. I would rather not tell it as problems. Yes, a lot of challenges in life, which made me think in a different way and started helping me to make me myself very stronger day by day. The lessons we have learned from life started coming in front of me when things came up as a challenge. And yes, I took it up as a challenge. And today I'm where am I?
So, why did you choose this particular space, right? You wanted to do or pay back or express your sense of gratitude. You could have, I mean, like you said, right? World is full of problems, full of challenges. So, why the children education, right? I mean, you could. What made you to look at this primarily versus innumerable other things that you could have taken up?
As you very well asked me, what made you come into this? What was your challenges? Why did you take it up? As a child, my childhood was from a very poor background, wherein my parents struggled hard to even give a pen, pencil, eraser, sharpener, or even a box of colors, which we used to feel very excited when we got. But there were so many children who never got those things. It could even matter of 5 rupees, 10 rupees also. But there are hundreds and thousands of children till date who don't have access for such things. Having said that, these are the schooling material which actually accomplishes their overall learning also. It is not that we give them and the task is done, but these are basic things without which they can't study, which they can't memorize, which they can't revise. So that is very, very important. So starting with giving away schooling materials to children was our first step towards helping the children who can't afford the same. So it makes a huge difference when you give away some 5 pens, 5 pencils, or erasers, sharpeners, some color pencils. That gives them a lot of positivity in terms of learning.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
You're
is
talking
my
about
motive.
the you're talking about the basic or essentials of learning. Today, people talk about
Exactly.
schooling means people needs computer, people need internet, people need the smart boards. So people talk about so much of technology, and it's true that there must be a lot of people who don't have, like you said, pencils and basic instruments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What happens is there are two phases of the society. Okay. One is like the children going to a proper school where they pay the fees, pay the donations, get admissions, go ahead with all these facilities by paying. There is another segment of the society which comprises the 80% of the society going to schools, public schools, community schools, where they don't get these things. There, the schooling is free, free of cost. So the government is doing a tremendous job by giving them food, afternoon food from Annadasoha. Afternoon food is being provided to the children,
Oh,
and also they give textbooks. But what about the schooling material? Only textbooks cannot help them to revise. They need a
okay.
lot of other things parallelly to support.
Oh, so they are not provided by the government, is it?
No, no. It is
Oh,
only the
okay.
textbooks which the government gives.
Okay. So it is the onus
It's
of the
not the
parents to get
notebooks.
them right.
Yes. Either the parents have to get or the government has to give. When both the ways it is not happening, there are the donors or the NGOs who are working towards giving them or helping them with the basic requirements to continue their studies seamlessly.
So do you have any numbers just to get a sense of perspective on how big is this need in terms of what percentage
It's
of school
really
children?
huge. It's really huge. It's in lakhs, not even in thousands. It is in lakhs.
Okay.
See, having
Uh,
again said that, same
we
government
have
school, the
some.
same
We have a
commune.
few. We have a few people in our audience who are consuming our podcast from outside of India. So just
Mm-hmm.
for their benefit, lakhs would mean 1 lakh is 100,000. So
Yes.
just to give a perspective, for them to connect with when you say lakhs, it's hundreds and thousands. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, please go ahead. Just for those
Again,
audiences.
yes. Actually, what happens is again, we can't discriminate between the children again going to the same government schools or the same community schools. In the same school, there might be a parent who can afford, and there might be a parent who can't afford. But there is no bias for us. For us, all children are same. So, irrespective of the child is getting from the parent or not, all children are helped with. Because once we get into the school, out of 100, you can't actually tell, okay, 40 children, whoever is getting from the home, we will not give them. So it becomes a general platform while helping.
Right.
Yeah.
But how did this happen then during COVID? How did this segment of students manage to keep up with learning? I was told that
First and
government was
foremost,
pushing the content on Doordarshan, right? The Doordarshan is a public channel in India.
yes,
So they
yes.
were pushing the classes, each class course materials or teaching was done through TV channel.
It was through TV channel, it was through radio channels, multiple ways the government has tried to reach these children. But I'm sure that many villages even don't have the access, or many students don't have the access of even the TVs.
Okay, okay. So
So, in
how
fact,
did they?
a step further, the teachers were deputed to go to communities, build in groups of children, and make sure the social distances are maintained and teach them. That time also, we reached out to many children across the villages, taking the help of that particular teachers to give away these books and stationery. At least that time we did not do in a very bigger way. At least they had something to write, something to read.
Hmm.
Say, for example, one child gets 6 or 7 books accordingly in the normal time. That time we gave 3 books so that the learning process wouldn't stop.
So there was data I'd come across. I was just searching for it. That last 10th standard, uh, 15,000
Mhm.
students didn't take exam.
Mhm.
15,000
Because
10th standard
this is
students
a
didn't
public
take
exam.
exam, public exam.
These are the
But
board exams.
yeah, do you think it is because of this?
Not because of the books and stationery, it is the lack of learning. Because almost for 2 years, schools were
They didn't
totally
have
shut down.
access to TV or radio or
Exactly.
anything. So they could not, they didn't see any
Study.
sense in taking exams.
Going further for on that particular thing, this year the government came up with one particular activity known as Kalika Habba.
Okay.
Kalika Chetarike. Kalika Chetarike. So,
Okay.
which enabled the schools for 2 months to just brush up with what happened the last 2 years.
Okay. I'll try to do a rough translation of it. Kalika Chetarike could well mean uh, uh, uh,
Learning,
Kalika is learning. Chetarike would mean to be aware,
reviving,
aware,
reviving.
reviving. Is it okay? Reviving learning. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
reviving or yes, reviving the learning part. Because for almost 2 years, when there were the children did not have any access to any learning, though they were being pushed to the next class.
Mm-hmm.
But when they come to 10th, do you think it is possible to write the board exams without even having the basics of ninth and 8th?
Mm-hmm. Which they pretty much lost out because of the 2 years.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And
Right.
the memory of the children with terms to education is
So
very
this
much limited.
this effort of Kalika Chetarike is in Karnataka.
Yes, in Karnataka. I'm
So I
not very
presume there
sure
are
about other
similar
places.
efforts are happening in other states
Maybe,
also.
maybe. Because COVID was throughout India.
Correct. Correct.
So
So
every
so
government would have taken the
your
steps
your
to
efforts are
revive the education.
largely confined to Karnataka.
Yes, as of now. But
Right.
having said that, we have done couple of activities across Noida, across Bihar, Madhya
Okay.
Pradesh, also.
Okay.
But have like 90% is with Karnataka.
So how do you see those places? How have they responded to these challenges that you mentioned now
Uh,
in Bihar or
Again, I have not done much of the learning about those things as of now,
okay. Okay.
but they have faced a lot of challenges. This is last year to last year what we did, the same sort of, we did sort of renovation of couple of toilets wherever it was required. We did
Mm-hmm.
the construction of toilets. we gave away books and stationery. In this course of 4 or 5 years, we have done. But for last 2 years, when Corona was affected, we have not done anything outside Karnataka. But it was completely within Karnataka what we have done, because we had to help out ourselves first than going elsewhere.
Correct. So how is this Kalika Chetarike effort contributing to, is it really been effective from your perspective?
50%.
Okay.
50%. And that has affected not completing the syllabus for this particular academic year. But that's okay, at least until and unless the children are being supported with the basics which was left off, they can't go ahead also.
Correct. Right.
In the schools, I have myself personally seen that children have even lost the access of, like they have forgotten everything. The teachers had to start from the scratch, which is really painful. But the same way when it comes to private schools, they have enough access towards the technology. They had Zoom calls, they had online sessions for the children. It could be a recorded one or a live one. The classes were going on without any interruption.
Right.
The other way around, in government schools, it was not possible that way. But at least for after the severity of the first year, the second year, yes, at least 8th, 9th, 10th standard children were allowed to come back to school. But until 7th standard, it was not allowed. 8th, 9th, 10th standard were allowed to come to school, and of course, following all the protocols of the health department.
Correct. So it looks like the impact of COVID, at least on the education front, and also considering that there is such a huge number of people who are primarily dependent on public education system, they are severely affected by this, and we will see this impact for a very long time, because we will have
next 5 years at least. For next 5 years,
right?
Because we have back run 5 years.
Right. So, stepping back, you started engaging schools from trying to identify the small gaps, right? That they need essentially notebooks and pencils and erasers and things like that. So you probably started off in some nearby government school.
Yes. In fact, the journey started with helping 3 children for education who couldn't afford it. That is how the journey started. And after helping them,
when you say afford it, that means they were in a private school and you help them get paid for their.
Very true.
Okay.
Very true.
But your focus is on people who also go to private schools, or your focus is to work with children who primarily go to government schools?
It is, what do I tell this? This is like complete, because sometimes it so happens when a child is been in a private school, things would have been fine. Later, the child would have lost the father or the mother or the job, but immediately the child can't be picked and put in some other school also. See, there are many practical issues with these things, right? So we normally help with scholarships.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that would again be for the private schools then. If there are
private schools again, these are the aided schools.
Okay.
Aided schools.
Right.
Not completely private school.
I even heard or read somewhere that government schools intake had increased during COVID times, because many people lost their jobs, and
no earnings.
Suddenly they one is no earning, and no certainty of future earning, and the children's fee and all that. So many people withdrew those children from private schools and put them into government schools.
True. That is absolutely true.
That's been a big number, is it?
Yes, that's been a big number. But parallelly, if I have to talk about those things now, children recruitment is fine. But what about the teachers? in the schools.
Correct.
Those things were not balanced in a proper way.
Right. Yeah. So,
That is
but
also
what
very important. See, only
absolutely correct.
taking the big number of admissions in government schools will not really give a solution. You need to even recruit teachers to make sure those children are being taught.
Correct. So, how are those things? I mean, today are they kind of
Some
balanced?
a little bit. Government is
Okay.
taking lot of efforts, like it is putting lot of efforts in recruiting the teachers, and a little more than 15,000 positions are being to be fulfilled.
Only in Karnataka?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, the students who had joined because of COVID situation to government schools, they are continuing with that, or now the jobs have
Again,
started
when
opening up?
things are coming back to normal, when things are coming back to normal, I don't tell we are completely back in normal, but still
Right.
we are working towards coming back to normal. Now, when people feel okay, fine, I can see again, the reason is people who are working in cities, they
Mm,
migrated back to the villages.
mm,
They
mm,
migrated back to the villages in terms of no facilities to earn, no jobs, and they had to pay huge rents, the
mm.
maintenance of their livelihood, everything. So when they went back to the villages, there was no choice.
Okay, so that is another segment. Apart from the urbanites who lost jobs moving to,
Yes,
many people moved back to their hometowns. Right.
yes. So there was no choice. And if there is one or two private schools in their own place, they could not accommodate so many numbers.
Mm. Okay, that is another reason why many parents were forced to look at government schools because when they moved back to hometown,
Exactly.
the capacity was not there for private schools to take in more students.
True, true.
Okay, okay, interesting. So, what are the districts, if we can say today, that you operate out of? You obviously started in Bangalore.
Yes, in Bangalore alone, we are associated with a little more than 30 to 35 schools across North Bangalore alone.
Oh, okay. So they include schools run by government and
Yes, these
private
are
schools.
only the schools run by government. There are
Oh,
one
okay,
or two schools which is aided.
okay,
If I can
okay,
explain how is aided school working. Again, it is a semi-government school, I can tell you, aided
okay,
schools. Aided
okay,
schools may like the teachers are being paid by the government,
okay,
and the children will be giving only a very small amount of fee which can maintain the school, very
okay.
very minimal.
And
The
the fees
government
is also defined by the
subscribed them.
government. Fees
Yes,
is
yes,
determined by the
it is
government.
a very small prescribed fee which is defined by the government, which is
Okay,
given in terms of their books, stationery, and all these things.
okay, okay, okay. So these are again these kind of schools are more of schools for
Charity
social
run schools.
charity run schools. Right,
Yes,
right. Okay.
education trust and education charity will be there, na?
Yeah.
Like such schools.
Okay. Okay. So, uh, what kind of work are you doing today? Starting from giving them those essential notebooks and things. So, what is it
It
that
is
you
like,
are trying to help them with today? Apart from scholarship, is another aspect you said.
yes, it is really a very widespread activities what we do with the schools.
Yeah.
If at all books and stationery, the donation what we actually raise and give away
So
the books and
that is
stationery, this
there.
is a
That
yearly
continues.
activity.
Okay.
That
Okay.
continues. It is a yearly activity. This academic year 2022-23, we reached out 100 plus schools with 7,500 children.
Mhm.
That is what our capacity was. So going forward with regards
That
to the
is for
schools, we even
7,500
do
children. For 7,500 children, you are
yes,
provided with notebooks and pencils, color pencils, all the
stationaries,
essentials.
pens,
So,
yes,
what
yes.
are they primary school? That is, what? Where do you start? What age group do you start with?
It is around
Mm.
6 years.
Oh, okay. So standard one onwards.
Yes. Government school
Okay.
doesn't have a pre-nursery or nursery. It
Okay.
starts with
Right.
first till 10th. So first,
Okay.
second, third is to be considered as one.
Okay.
That is Nali Kali group.
Okay. Okay.
That is called as Nali Kali group. And later
Okay.
on, it is different standards. From 4th standard until 10th standard, it is different.
So these 7,000 students come from standard 1 to standard 10.
Yes.
Right. And that's every year you're catering to about 7,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And what other thing are you doing apart from
Renovation and restoration of bad shaped schools. It could be the painting, it could be a little bit of renovating the schools in terms of plastering or the tiles, or giving them green boards, or renovating the blackboards which is already existing. This is
does it
one part.
also
And
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
please go ahead.
another thing is, we have a specific activity known as gift a toilet to a girl child. Under the education activities, gift a toilet to a girl child actually caters to the building the toilets in the schools where even today there are zero toilets till date.
Government schools don't have toilets, is it? I thought government
Many
schools.
schools,
You mean the
many
aided
schools,
schools,
many
private,
schools.
or even the government schools,
Private schools, I'm not talking about. I'm talking only about the community government schools.
and they don't have
There are
toilet? Is
many
it?
schools till date.
Uh, but is it?
This is basically in rural
But government
villages.
government has huge budget for these things, right? I mean, do you have to raise money for it? Probably, if you offer to do it, government should alone give you money for this, right? Or
I
are
have
you
never
tapping it?
approached government for this, Nanjundaure. But
Okay.
having said that, see, India is a huge country. We know that very well. And this 70, 75 years of our independence, do you think they haven't seen that the schools doesn't have toilets and they would have not realized that they need toilets and all?
Yeah, this
It's
is
a very big issue which has to be addressed on. Rather talking about why they have not done, why it has not reached to that place, what is the problems there. It is the system is like that. You can't help it. It takes time for the system to recognize where there is real need. I'm sure just day before yesterday, I was listening to the budget, and they are coming up with a lot of classrooms and also toilets. But again, who is going to go ahead and search which school needs toilets? Say, for example, I'll tell you, recently, last week, I took up one particular project in Mugaluru, near Tumkur. Okay. That particular place has 180 plus students. High school alone has 90 plus students, and the whole total, it could be crossing 250 students from first standard to 10th standard. Trust me, there are only 4 toilets for primary, not even high school. High school has 0 toilets. So, approximately 70 to 80 children who are girls are using, are forced to open defecation.
in fact, that
So
has
we
been one of
started
the
the
known reasons for girls to drop out of schools, right? Because
exactly that was the reason where we started the gift a toilet to a girl child. At least whenever the child needs that me space, basic dignity for her own self, we need to give that.
see, but creating a toilet is an infrastructural thing, but another one is it is something from a hygiene point of view. It's a continuous
Exactly.
maintenance. So how do you manage it? So gift means would it mean also raise and create some kind of a buffer for upkeep of the
Not
place?
really. Not
Then
really.
how does
We
that get?
mostly we mostly create awareness within the students, within the children, to take care of their own place as their
Okay,
home.
right. They,
That is
I mean,
very, very important.
do you keep checking on it to check whether they are keeping it
Yes.
and they are able to do
Yes,
that?
of course. Yes, they are able to do that. And sometimes the staff, the cooking staff, normally in rural area schools, in Bengaluru, we get food from ISKCON.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
The Akshay Patra.
Akshay
Akshay
Patra.
Patra reaches to the government schools in terms of giving them food. And the
Mhm.
staff who serves the food in the
Mhm.
schools, no, we sometimes give some extra money for them to make sure the toilets are clean.
So they supervise and make sure they get the students to come and
Yes.
clean it up.
No, again, it is a very controversial issue because, especially when it comes to rural areas, na, there is a lot of rejection and apprehensions from the villagers stating that why should my child wash the toilet?
Okay.
We have
Yeah.
faced many instances like that. So that is when even I try to educate the parents as well, because when we can wash our own toilets at home, why not do that in the school? Because it
Yeah,
is
it's
the place
better to
most of the
wash
time the
and
children
continue.
are.
Correct. It's better to they wash it so they have they can go to school. If they don't wash the toilet,
Exactly.
then they can't even
So
go
the
to school.
transformation is definitely happening very slowly, but even people have to accept that. It is wholeheartedly somebody has to accept that, right?
Right. No, well, see, irony is that we are talking about schools who need to have toilets and upkeep and all that in a podcast which is titled Future Fast, where we're talking about how the future will be. And it's very unfortunate that we need to be talking about this kind of a thing in something where we are talking about future where we've had guests talking about India will be leading number one country in the world and all that.
This is the
And it's so
reality what we
unfortunate.
are facing, right?
Right.
Let us
It's
not keep
such an
ourselves in
irony.
illusion that we are going to be a very good thing in future. Yes,
No,
we
no.
would
What
definitely look forward
I
for
would
that.
say, I would say it may not be an illusion. It may well be a reality, but problem is our reality also includes.
Very true. And as I
So
was talking, apart from gift a toilet to a girl child, we even have a couple of guest teachers to the school. When you asked me, did it balance? When the children were more and teachers were less, did it balance? Of course, we can't help with every school. We can't help with every place with giving the guest teachers. Again, it is a compensation on the organization. When there are guest teachers, we need to pay them, right? And it is their livelihood. So
or
we have given
facilitation
more
also
than
has a cost,
15.
right? So
Yes,
if you have to take them from
very
X
much.
place to there, the transportation or accommodation if
Okay,
required and all.
those things, let me put it in this way. We normally hire the teachers from the local place only. So they
Ah,
know
okay.
how the children are, how the children are, what the children are doing, their livelihood, their background, so that they get connected easily.
Have you not tried
See,
getting
for example,
volunteers from cities who want to volunteer on this for a few days and things like that?
I have a huge respect towards volunteers, Nanjunda, but what happens is volunteering itself tells when I have time,
Correct.
isn't it? But
Absolutely.
when there is an impact oriented activity, when the volunteer is not able to make that, who is the which segment is going to get the loss out of it?
Correct. But only in such a scenario, the pool of the volunteers have to be big to accommodate to make up for the absence of some.
On day to day basis, see, if somebody has to go to the school on a full time and teach the children curriculum, volunteers are already engaged with their own lives, their own work, their own earnings, everything, but it is a huge heart of theirs that they also tell that we would like to engage. Normally volunteers would be interested in
Right.
weekends when they have time.
Correct.
So this is a impact oriented thing. You can't tell people, okay, fine, you can't tell children, okay, this day the volunteer is not come, what about the education or learning on that day?
How have you considered engaging college students or senior students to make
Again, the time
some
matters,
hours?
right? Time
Oh,
matters.
I mean, if
The
it can be
time, the
attached to their
duration
credits,
matters.
that is true. But
We do
yeah,
have
that's
interns.
okay.
They have lots to do. Even their classes starts from morning till evening. When these children are in school, they are in college.
No, correct. But if it can be associated to their credits, that if they have to do X number of hours of something, and if that something could be this, then
True.
we do have a
Practically
lot of.
speaking, we do have interns. We do engage the interns in terms of extracurricular activities, not with the whole
Teaching.
curriculum or the academics. See,
Mhm.
one person teaches in one way, another person takes up a different way to teach. What about the
Right.
children who are taking it?
So the continuity will get affected, and they may miss out
Continuity
on.
will not be there, and they come from a very vulnerable backgrounds. Their basics are very, very weak, and multiple
Mhm.
ways of teaching. Do you think they would grasp things?
Mhm. Okay.
So these are the practical issues. I'm not actually comprehending on about the volunteers, their work, not at all.
Right.
Their
Right.
services are really respected and huge, no doubt
Mhm.
about it. But when it comes to the impact, you need to have something which is continued.
Right. Right.
So coming to the guest teachers, we have given a little more than 15 guest teachers across Karnataka, various places. It includes teaching computers. It includes even teaching the curriculum, the full-time teachers. It
Mhm.
includes even teaching English wherever required. So apart from the guest teachers, the next segment comes with the labs. It could be the computer labs. It could be the science labs.
Mhm.
So we have created the computer labs with a little more than 10 schools across Karnataka.
Okay.
Not only giving the gadgets will really help them. They need somebody to teach them.
Correct.
So we engage. So when computers comes, we engage the volunteers because it is
Okay.
not full time.
Mhm.
So we have
Right.
volunteers. Again, in rural areas, we don't get volunteers, Nanjunda. That is a
They're not
problem.
willing to come there.
Who would really?
Okay.
No, not like that. See,
No,
if
that
somebody is
place you mentioned near
educated,
Tumkur is also just about an hour and a half drive, right, from Bangalore.
true, but how many would will to do that?
What about students in Tumkur itself? Tumkur has many colleges and universities, right? Two or three universities are
Very
there, right?
true. Very
They.
true. We did try that also.
Okay.
Consistency is not there.
Right. Right.
They have a number of reasons.
Hmm.
End of the day, it is reasons.
If I may suggest, you should perhaps tap into AICTE.
Mm-hmm.
AICTE, most of the technical education, all this engineering and all the engineering and technical education institutions come under AICTE.
Mm-hmm.
So they define what to be taught, how to be, and how much of credit allocation for whatever they learn, the process and all that. So maybe you could reach out to them saying that can they consider the the students which come under AICTE board, that the effort they put into something as volunteering for NGOs such as yours, that could be considered for some credit. So that becomes easy for you to tap into the student community because
Definitely,
it
we
is
can do
recognized
that.
by AICTE.
Yeah, surely we can look into that. That's not
So
an
I
issue,
can
though.
that can open up a huge student population access for you from. And
Very
not just
true.
for you,
But
I mean, people like you across India, whoever is working on all the developmental efforts. Student
there
community
are
is a
many
huge
other
community.
practical issues also in this. It is not
Mm,
only teaching and learning. We
right.
never know the student who has got himself recruited to go and teach there, what intentions he has behind.
Okay, there have been issues
Children
like that
are
as well.
accessed. Yeah, yeah, many
Mm.
misbehavior,
Right.
taking an advantage. All these
Mm.
things again creates a lot of problems within the
Yeah.
school and the
Right.
organizational reputation also.
Correct. Correct. So it's a
So
very
we need to be
sensitive.
10 times.
Correct.
Yeah, of course. We need to be 10x more cautious before even recommending somebody to go and do something.
Mm. Right. Very understandable. Right.
So these are the areas where we really face a lot of challenges. We cannot judge anybody, right? Until he's a student who has applied to do his internship to teach somebody. But how do we
Correct.
judge about his character as what he's going to do later?
Exactly. And you only to, I mean, it's only fair to give benefit of that they are coming with good intention of expression of their gratitude to
Yes,
whatever they are trying to, and
yes.
also perhaps help in their own credits if their system helps
Especially
in
when
getting.
we do these things in villages, what happens? It becomes a very big issue. Very, very big issue where even media can actually target us.
Right, right.
So that's the reason. See, these are things which are very sensitive, and we cannot actually handle these things without a proper platform.
Hmm.
It
Yeah,
takes time.
right. And who's is there a person that inspired you to take up this kind of developmental issues? I don't want to say social issues; these are developmental issues, right?
Yes.
So, is there somebody
Um,
who's inspired you to do these things? Or whom do you count as an inspiration for doing this?
Inspiration, it is the life what we have seen, or
Okay,
the examples what we have seen in and around us, who has started doing something or who has nothing to do,
mm,
nothing to face that problem. As I told you, no, like a small accomplishments like books, pencils. Even I myself, I have seen myself in a very, very pathetic condition when things were to be bought to the school and we don't have money to buy those things. So these were the basic examples what made me think, okay, fine, I'll have to work towards those. When that 7,000 numbers, it might look very small, but in terms of having a smile on those faces when they get what they need, it's huge.
it
It's a
is.
huge satisfaction. And it takes only 350 rupees to help a child to get those books and stationaries, which can help them at least for 6 to 8 months.
Well, for all those who are listening, the links are there to the trust. So, and what other efforts that are going, and if you want to support for any individual effort, or if you want to support in whole, please do consider the links are given below this very podcast in whatever platform you're looking at or listening to. Yes,
And for
sorry, please
people who
continue.
are listening to us from abroad, away from India, it all takes only $5 to help somebody. Only $5.
Right.
So it's a huge help, huge support. Every person who thinks, okay, fine, even I can help 10 students, it is a huge impact on the society, making that child feel, okay, I can do something in life. That is
Yeah,
a
very
moral support, not only giving them the schooling material, it is a moral support from the outsider telling, we are there with you.
right. Right. What kind of institutions institutional support? Is it only individuals who are supporting your efforts? Are there institutions who are supporting your efforts in this?
Not really. Not really. Individuals is highly appreciated.
Okay, so largely
We
it's
do
individuals
even
who are
yeah, individual supports, definitely we do have it. And we can go ahead even with the institutional support. If you talk about the CSRs, the corporate
okay.
social responsibilities, we
Right,
are
right.
registered properly, legally registered under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs to accept contributions under
Okay,
CSR. And we
okay,
are registered under the Ministry of Home Affairs to accept contributions from foreign I mean to say the foreign contributions.
okay. Right. So
Yeah.
Are there any institutions already backing you towards this? Any names that you can take off if it is okay to talk about?
I'm sorry. Yeah, please tell me.
Are there any CSR support that you're
Yes, we
getting
are
from any?
associated with a couple of companies. To name as an example, we recently cracked Amazon, and we are with one company known as Observe AI, and we are with a company known as Sharp Development. We are with a company known as Conga Software. We are with a company known as FAI, First American Indian,
Right, right.
and Mashra Global Services, which is a Dubai-based bank which has an office in India, operations. So, like this, there are a couple of companies which have come forward helping us to accomplish this big numbers.
Wonderful.
And it
Wonderful.
could be ranging from books and stationeries to building toilets, irrespective of whatever it is for education.
Mm-hmm. So basically, if I can just try to recall, correct me if I'm wrong, three things that you're working on. One, it's in providing with basic stationery to the children. Two, building toilets for the schools. And three, supporting with getting supplementary teachers
Yes.
for various needs or whether specialization or where there are short supply of teachers. So these are the three areas where you're working. Are there anything else that
Apart
you want?
from this, as I told you, computers, computer labs,
Okay, labs, computer
science
and
labs,
electronic labs, science labs. Okay, okay.
and
So you set
educational.
up the whole lab for them, and also
Yes.
perhaps provide with lab technicians to help with
Not
in the
really.
process.
Not really.
Okay,
We
only the
only
labs
set up the
infrastructure.
lab infrastructure, but when it is coming to computers, yes, we give the teacher.
Okay, okay, not the other science
But
labs, primarily.
yes, science
Or
labs will have the science teachers
so
who's
you will
already
probably
recruited in that particular school.
help with their training of trainer sorts, how to use those labs in their process. That is a one-time
Yes,
training
yes,
effort to the teacher. So
that
that is a
happens.
fourth component. So probably somebody who wants to support could also look at supporting with helping
Very
you on
true.
the setting up of these labs.
Yes.
Right. So these are the four
And
primary areas where you're supporting.
another one.
Okay. Okay. Please.
Another
Please
one
share.
is just slipping from my mind. One moment. Okay. Slum Learning Center.
Okay.
Aksharabhyas Learning Center.
Mhm.
We have the learning centers in remote villages. We have already one running upon in Pulaganahalli, which is nearby to Gauribidnor. Apart from that, we are setting up another learning center in Kalburgi, a remote village of Kalburgi.
Okay. What
So
does
what
this
are
learning
these?
center mean?
Yes. The learning centers, only what happens for the children who go to a private school and all, they have an extra cushion to go to the tuitions, right?
Mhm.
For their
Mhm.
extra help, what they need for their learning. But what happens to the children who go to government schools?
In the
They
subjects they
don't
are
have
weak.
that particular facility
Okay.
subject
Okay.
wise. Subject
Right.
wise. So they don't have that extra cushion of learning, which they have
All right.
not learned school. So this learning center enables them to get that tuitions, extra tuitions. We hire a teacher, there is a place,
And no
and
cost
we
for the
get a little
students.
more than no cost. No cost. It's
Right.
a free
Right.
tuitions.
Right.
So
Okay.
this is another part of
And
the
how is
Vidya
it?
School program.
These are set up within the school premises, or are they set up
Sometime if the school has some space, yes, it is, or it can even outside a temple premises, what we tell as
Mhm.
early kate,
Right. Okay. Arlikat is
wherever the
literally below a banyan tree.
a
So
banyan tree, a people tree,
a
basically a
people
people
tree.
tree.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So they are already in school for almost 7 hours. So that should not really bother them. An extra 2 hours to sit with the teacher to learn what they have not learned in the school. And that
Or
is
where they
really
need
helping us
some
a lot.
extra help or a
Help.
specific attention to.
Yes.
Attention.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
There is an attendance followed on a day-to-day basis
Okay.
for the children who come there. There is a proper report which is followed, where they were lacking, what they were lacking with, and what is that they have learned.
So how
All these
many
things
what?
is properly documented.
So now I understand Learning Center is a new effort you started. So how many students are taking advantage of this now?
30 plus
Okay.
with
Okay.
one center.
Okay. Right. Wonderful. So you are 8 years old now?
Yes. Personally, 14 plus years.
Okay. Okay. Right. No, perfect. As an organization, it's 8 years
Yes.
old. And there must be students who have gone past 10th standard, right? Since the time you started helping with.
Mhm.
So
Not
are they?
really. Not really. My eldest, like 10th standard, they have passed. My eldest daughter is in 12th now. She is going to complete 12th. She has taken up commerce. She is with us for almost 7 years now.
Okay. Okay.
And my second one, a little younger, she is in 11th.
Okay.
And of course, through scholarships, we have educated a couple of them who is in 7th sem of engineering now.
So
I
after
have been
10th, you
helping
are
her
so after 10th, you are
studies
helping with
for
getting
almost
scholarship.
yes.
So after the 10th, you are helping them with scholarships to for their 11th, 12th, and whatever they study.
Okay.
Some of them.
In our initial conversation, I have never mentioned that we run a children home as well.
Okay. Okay.
So we run a children home which is located in North Bangalore in Yelahanka, and we take care of 13 girls there between the age group of 7 to 17 years. These are set of children I was talking about as my daughters, elder one and the second one and
Okay.
all.
What does a
Otherwise,
children
yes, the
home mean? Is
scholarships.
that what does it mean? Is this same
I
as an
wouldn't want
orphanage?
to name it as an orphanage. I just definitely wouldn't want to name it as an orphanage
No, I
because
understand the
name
sentiment just
itself
from an
creates lot
understanding
of
point of view.
sympathy. Yes,
Right.
yes.
Right. But it's the same thing, but you rather call it a children home than an orphanage.
Exactly. Yes.
Perfect. Fair. Okay.
This is known as my home.
Okay.
So that the
Okay.
child have the feeling of telling, yes, it is my home.
Right.
So these are the children who are single parented, abandoned, destitute children where there is no hope of survival. So we provide with everything like food, shelter, clothing, education, health, and of course, love and affection as well. So these children stay here and they do their education also here. We have right from second standard to second PUC.
Wow. Okay. And this is how many you said? 17.
13 girls.
13. Okay. Okay. Right. So this is the fifth component of what you're doing.
Yes.
But this is run as a separate
Under the
entity
same trust. Under the
under the
same
same
trust.
trust. Okay.
It is a different activity.
Right. Right. So, uh, what do you, how do you see this going? I mean, you also started working with UP, Bihar, and other states as well. So obviously, because of COVID, you had to back, come back and rather stay focused within Karnataka and around in and around Bangalore to start perhaps. But now, what are your plans for the next few years? Where are you looking at? What is your priority from that perspective for the next few years?
Yes, the numbers matters. So the problems would not all of a sudden disappear as well, right? We need
Correct.
to work towards it.
Correct.
I can't hypothetically tell, okay, fine, down the lane, 5 years, we are looking for something like this and all. It lot of time to understand the concept and start helping each other in terms of the basic things also. There might be people who have studied from the village, come to rural, from rural to urban, and started working and all. How much they have started contributing back to the same place what they have studied from. So this sense of responsibility, sense of ownership creates a huge impact. When they start looking at a wider picture, okay, fine, I have studied from this place. Let me start helping from place only. It's a sense of gratitude I'm talking about.
Good.
So in terms of numbers, I'm sure people would understand our concept, and they are going to help us with many things more. This year alone, my target is to cross 10,000 numbers.
Wow. Okay.
I mean to say for 22, 23, 24, we are planning to help 10,000 plus students. It should be an organical growth. I can't all of a sudden look at a bigger number and tell, because I need to sustain for the coming years also.
Right. And also you need, how large is your organization today? If you're catering to all this, you probably have a sizable team as well. So you need to
not
pay
very
them
big team.
system. Okay.
Yes, not
how
very
big
big
is
team. It is including the guest teachers and others, no? It is approximately 15 plus.
Wow. Okay.
It is a 15 plus team. But having said that, we hire people on activity base. See, giving salaries the whole year will not really make sense. Giving books and stationery is a yearly activity. So giving
once a year
for 1 month's activity,
right.
It doesn't make sense. And most of the time we have these school teachers, the government school teachers or the beneficiaries working as volunteers for us.
Okay.
To search for the beneficiaries. See, getting contributions is one part, but searching for the right deserving beneficiaries is a crucial part. Because we are actually utilizing the money, the hard-earned sweat and blood of somebody else's contribution to make sure it is reaching to the right audience.
How do you keep your donors informed or communicated about what you're doing?
Social media. And of course, we do a little bit of informing them through emails. Social media acts very crucial because we are on all sorts of social media, Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere. So whenever there is an activity, we make sure it is being posted on the social medias to reach out to our...
We'll share all the social handles also, because whatever people are comfortable with can always reach out.
Absolutely. And through this, I always request people to please follow us on LinkedIn. That's quite a set of serious people there. So it makes more sense, and we can get more opportunities to help each other.
Perfect. So the link is there. So urge you, please do look at it. And any questions, you can always reach out to her and write and seek whatever clarification.
Definitely,
you have
my number would be there. My email address would be there. Anytime they can reach out to us. And going further with the other activity, we have women-oriented activities as well. Two different segments. One is the livelihood project, and another is Swecha. Swecha is beyond freedom. The meaning of Swecha is beyond freedom. And this particular activity answers most of the questions related to menstrual hygiene. Especially even today, when we talk about menstruation, the sanitary napkins, these are the taboo subjects considered in rural areas. They are not that much open in talking about their own hygiene problems and menstrual problems. So we do connect the ASHA workers in that particular village to talk to the women to understand better on what the problems are. And the Swecha program also helps with the sanitary napkins to 350 plus women who can't afford the same. And a part of Prerna, that is women-oriented program, is livelihood project. 72 is a very remote village of Pulganalli. So the same place has our livelihood project where we are training 60 plus women with industrial grade tailoring machines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And these women, after getting the training done, either they're ready, industry ready to go to some garments and earn their living, or we can help them to have some sustainable income wherever they are.
Okay. So it may be tough for them to go out and relocate themselves to go and work in a factory in a different town,
No,
right?
that particular place, every
Or they
villages
already have?
is very nearby to
Okay.
some hall where they have some garments. There are some garments in that
Okay. Some
area,
some
so we can help
factory
them to get
facilities are there.
hired. Yes, yes,
Okay.
factory facilities are there.
Okay. So that's why you chose tailoring, because garment
Exactly.
factories are already there. Okay. So likewise, tomorrow or in future, you will look at other areas, whatever is the nearest economic
We
opportunities could be.
are
You will try to look at.
doing. We have started to bring certain products what they exclusively do with
Mhm,
regards to this millet powders, with regards
mhm.
to some spices, with regards to some immunity boosters, all these things we are trying to get it to the general stream so that people take the advantage of those traditionally prepared products. We are already
Okay.
working
So
on it.
what are you doing? I mean, you're kind of helping them how to make it as a business, how to do
Yes.
it in a hygiene process and such.
No, the marketing would be done by us only because they are not like they can't reach out to people in terms of
Oh, okay.
marketing.
So you're helping them with the branding, packaging,
Sorry,
and
sort of
marketing.
marketing partners.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So wonderful. I think
But that would be a different wing of women empowerment. We can't do it in the name of Kritagyata Trust, but that would be a different wing of women empowerment because it is a commercial aspect.
right. So you're starting, or you have already started another entity for that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we
Well,
have
what is
already
it called?
started.
What is that called?
Swada Ventures.
Swada
That is known
Ventures.
as Swada Ventures.
So how many micro entrepreneurs, if I can call them that, are part of it? Those who are making these products.
As of now, a very minimal finger counted numbers of 3 to 4.
No, you started with three children, right? So that went up to 40,000 that you have touched. So it's okay. You started with three micro entrepreneurs today. So the day is not far where you'll be impacting 30, 40,000.
Looking
At
forward
least
for
even
that
start with
numbers, Nanjunda.
5,000.
Definitely.
Wonderful. I think that's an amazing, and we'll also share that link so that those. In fact, there are many people who are also working on that, and in
Mm-hmm.
fact, we also had uh, a guest who's driving ONDC as connecting with e-Samudai. So probably we'll try to connect you with e-Samudai. So they bring these technology applications for in these micro entrepreneurs to work on. So maybe you can see how you can collaborate with that. So that
Definitely.
should amplify your efforts further on. So what do you want to see? One side, we obviously we have there is a need for a lot more empathy and people to be considerate and working and contributing towards uh, not giving an equal footing in every sense, but at a base level, people need uh, still a lot of people need some of those things we don't even consider are necessary, right? We most times think we've gone well past that, right? India today has so many things happening that we are somewhere missing out. That there are still a lot of people who for whom even smallest of things still matter so much more, and not just from today's survival, but their very existence for the future, because what they learn in the schools and how they are able to better establish themselves in academics and career will determine their future, which in turn will impact the whole country's future. So this is the area you have chosen to work on. Uh, how how do you see changes that are happening overall, right? With corporates participating, with government agencies becoming a lot more proactive, and more individuals wanting to do things, and you yourself having quit your job in a corporate sector and having moved into it. How do you see this whole uh, this space is called development sector, right? So how do you see this development sector evolving with all these changes happening?
I should be telling this is a very positive change which is happening as of now. And we have been seeing the youngsters coming up and telling that they want to be part of it, they want to do something, not only in terms you told, not only in terms of finance and helping, even think of giving time. As of today, time is a very expensive factor, very, very expensive factor. Nobody has time for anybody. It could be friends, relatives, family, nobody has time. So giving time is very, very important. And moreover, empathy is very important. Sympathy doesn't give any sort of solutions.
Correct.
If sympathy can fulfill somebody's hunger, I'm sure like the whole world can show sympathy.
True, true.
So we need to work towards giving solutions rather thinking, okay, ayo, this is what has happened, what to do. Fine. Start from a very small scratch. The first step can lead you to the 10,000 step. Until and unless you don't put that first step towards something which is not going to give you anything back, how will you think about the 10,000 step?
Correct.
So that's very important to start empathizing with our own situations, our own people, our own society, our own surroundings. Because perceptions, situations are not same with everybody. It differs. Sometimes I can give you even examples. People themselves or the parents who are not literate, they don't give any sort of importance for education. It's not that they can't afford that schooling material. They can, but they're not interested to. But what happens to that child? The child's moral support is gone, totally gone. Just
Right.
yesterday, one of my volunteer called me and she told there is a boy who has some problem. He is in 10th standard and he has been all of a sudden with his grandmother and uncle who is mentally unstable. He's been thrown away from house. Where will he go? Is there any particular system? If at all it is only the boy, okay, we can make some arrangement for that boy to stay in some hostel or a home. Make sure that he takes his exams. He is in 10th standard. What about his grandmother? What about his uncle who is unstable, mentally unstable? So in such situations, where is the system helping them?
Mhm.
So uncertain. It was such a pathetic situation that I literally could not be helpful in any ways. Such situations make us think, what next? What can happen with such boy who is so brilliant, but not able to go ahead only because of few domestic problems what the family has.
Mm.
Mother and father have departed, the biological mother and father. Mother is somewhere in Salem. Father doesn't bother at all. So these are the practical issues what we come across day to day.
Right. How do you keep yourself motivated given all these? Uh, I mean, these are part of the stories that you come across on a daily basis, apart from whatever you're doing. So it can get very depressing, right?
Yeah, very much. Sometimes so I feel like, where are we going ahead? What am I doing? all these things. But again, my energy boosters are my children.
Okay.
Either I go to some school, spend some time with them, play with them, refresh myself, because they are innocent. They don't have any agenda in life. Their work is to study, enjoy, play.
Yeah.
So they are not very much oriented, okay, is there any benefit doing it? Is there no benefit doing it? They don't think on those lines. So spending time with those schools children or my own children in the children home is my best stress busters.
Wow. Well, uh, Aruna, I sincerely hope this effort of you coming over and speaking and sharing with what you're doing will also be able to get more people reaching out to you to see how best they can support, and also perhaps some of them, like what I mentioned, could also come forward to see how they can best collaborate with in amplifying whatever the effort. uh, but overall, the conversation, the biggest aspect personally for me, a takeaway is the future is very hopeful, very positive, because there are
Of
people like
course,
you. No, there are people like you
being
who's actually
optimistic is the biggest thing.
right, right,
There is no
right,
dead end at all. There is no dead
absolutely
end.
right. And perhaps your conversation herein will also motivate more people to come forward to doing. And see, every time people think, there are people who say that once I make sufficiently big money, I will also start giving out, you know
I don't believe in that. I don't
right.
believe in that. I
No,
have
no,
met many people saying, once I settle in my life, I'll do something. But tell me one thing, is there any particular definition for success or any definition for settlement?
right. So, see,
Absolutely
I
not.
think the sense of milestone, right? Once I get here, then I can. See, I think what is essentially needed is uh, your will to help is the first
Exactly.
aspect. Like you said, right? $5 or how much? Two, 100, 200,
350 rupees.
350 rupees, which is
350.
three. Yeah. So it's not how much you need to have from your bank balance perspective that is needed for one to consider to contribute. It is just your intent
Will.
to help, your will to help,
Exactly.
because it's as small as 350 rupees is which could make one child's 1 year, uh, make it
I
so
would
smooth.
really like to share one particular example here, Nanjinda. When we started the organization, there was a boy who used to come and contribute 100 rupees per month. A
Okay.
very small boy, say around ninth or 10th standard, a very small boy. He used to come monthly on every second or third. He used to give 100 rupees to me, and he used to tell, okay, fine, this is what I can give it to you. But do you know what? He comes from a very, very poor family, and he used to put newspapers in houses to earn that money. Some 300 rupees, what he used to earn, out of which he used to give 100 rupees. Don't you think it is worth crores of money?
Well, I don't know what to say. This is just. Uh, I hope this story goes well with all the listeners, and perhaps I also urge you to please share this with more people and reach out to Aruna, reach out to the Kritagyata efforts that they are doing, and see how best you can participate uh, or even contribute. And also, another thing you can very easily do is that share this story so that more people can reach out and engage them in all the social handles that are there. Follow Kritagyata's efforts on LinkedIn, follow it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you're comfortable with, and be part of the story of strengthening the future. that we all want to enjoy the ride with. Having said that, thank you so much. And Aruna, once again, thank you so much for
I
making
should be
time
very
and
grateful
doing
and
what you're doing.
thankful to Nanjunda for giving me such an opportunity to reach out to more people so that they get to know more about us, inspire, and start helping somebody who is in need.
Thank you once again.